Hey everybody, I just wanted to do an update on my smart hub that I had installed last winter and the booster antenna that was installed a few months ago and how they're performing. Just a bit of background, I was on a landline up here with Telus and it was really slow, 3 megabytes a second sometimes, and they just wouldn't come up and look at it. I knew it was the line that was the problem and they just wouldn't come and look at it. So I tried the Smart Hub, and initially I tried it without the booster antenna, and I had it quite high up. I had it up in a second story window, and it was certainly a lot faster. It was definitely a lot faster. It was giving me as much as 25 megabytes a second, average around 14 or 15 megabytes a second. So it was definitely a lot faster, but it was dropping out. Um, Not a lot, but it was dropping out, and at that time there was some snow, and we had some heavy snow days. And I thought, well, it's probably just the snow. And just a bit more background information. I'm looking at a cell phone tower on top of a mountain. So I thought, well, I'm going to have almost line of sight to that. It should be working pretty good. And when I get the booster antenna, hopefully that's going to help. So when the guy came with the booster antenna, he installed it on top of a fence post. He gave me some cockamamie story about he didn't want to put it on the stucco because he had problems with stucco. He was just being lazy. And he put it on top of a fence post. So the actual antenna was only about 8 feet off the ground. And it was dropping out all the time. It was driving me crazy. And I called Telus and they wouldn't do anything about it. They told me, oh, it's just my location. It's a bad location. And and so my next step was I was gonna either raise it up and install it on the stucco. And I thought, well, before I do that, I'll just put a 4-foot extension on top of this post. I had some help. And so now you can see the actual antenna is probably 12 or 13 feet off the ground, and it's working great. It's working great. It's been a few days since I've done this. I wanted to wait a few days before I did the video. Oh, it's probably been 4 or 5 days, and it's been working great. The speed, of course, is the same, but it's just not dropping out at all. And I'm semi-retired, and I'm on the internet a lot. I'm kind of a news junkie. And of course, I'm all like a lot of us. I spend way too much time on Facebook, but I get up in the morning and I'll watch news for maybe a half an hour or 60 minutes, and plus other things. I've got a YouTube channel, so I'm always uploading stuff. And I use the internet a lot, and it was really annoying. And now with just that extra 4 feet, it's working great, and the speed is great. So I can hear people out there saying, well, why don't you just switch your internet provider? Where I live, Telus is the only option I have for landline internet. And when I looked at the Smart Hub and I checked with people in my area, and people were happy; it seemed to be working. Um, and I've just checked for Rogers, and it looks like it's about the same cost. And frankly, I really didn't think of Rogers, but my understanding is their service is just as bad as Telus. And so my other option would have been Starlink. And well, yeah, as we know, Starlink is pretty pricey, and their prices have gone up because of inflation. Um, right now, your initial cost for the unit is $760 plus 65 shipping up in Canada, so that's getting you up over $800 for your unit. And the monthly fee is $140 a month. Now I looked and looked and looked, and I couldn't find out if that included taxes or not. So if you're paying taxes on top of that, it's getting pretty pricey. Yeah, sure, they're fast. Starlink is fast, 50 to 150 megabytes a second. But in my experience, you don't really need that. When I was on my landline and I was getting 7 megabytes a second, it was fine. I was streaming Netflix and whatever I wanted. It seemed to work just fine. I'm really enjoying the faster speed with the Smart Hub. I'm really enjoying the 15 megabytes a second. It's great. I really am enjoying that. But Starlink is expensive, and people are having problems with it dropping out. Um, so be advised. If you're thinking about one of these smart hubs, they work off the cell phone network, so you need a line of sight to a cell phone tower. Um, and the less things in front of it, the better. Now you can see here, I've got the forest. I've got some forest in front of me, and with it being that low to the ground before, I was probably just hitting way too much stuff, too much bushes, and probably even a couple of structures. I'm on an acreage of, I live in an area of acreages But there are some houses out there. I might have been bouncing off houses. It just wasn't working. And now it's working great. So if you're going to do this, be advised, higher off the ground the better. Don't let some lazy installer tell you that this will be fine. Um, get it as high up off the ground as you can. Okay, everybody. I hope that helps you. I went through quite a few months of really annoying, usage and wasted a whole bunch of time with Telus, and they just wouldn't help me at all. So, cheers, everybody. And like I said, I hope that helps you. Cheers.